Good evening and welcome back to my Dwarven Fortress of Esmulrakust, where I haven't quite got everything set up, even though I have plenty of time in which to do so. Right, so last session we, I think mostly constructed a kennel on the grounds that the number of dogs in the temple was beginning to get silly, and I was desirous of a lever that I could label Release the Hounds. And so now we have a lever that's labelled Release the Hounds. It's this yellow one here. And that opens these doors. It turned out that it was actually quite difficult to assemble this room, because I tried making it into a pasture, well, a pen really, because it's not, you can't graze in it, and the dwarves would keep trying to bring the dogs in, and the dogs would keep wandering off. Well, a few dogs would tend to wander off, and then the puppies would get in there because they wanted to be with their mothers, and the dwarves would try to get the puppies out and everything would get horribly messy and we could never actually close the door. And then someone, I think it was Simon, but it might have been Claire, suggested that what we needed was a hound chute where we could tip the dogs in at the top, and they would end up inside this room without like there being any way for them to get back out again. And this more or less corresponded with constructing a pit zone above, which is here. It's labelled hound chute, and that does actually work fairly well. You assign all of the dogs to that pit, and then the dwarves haul the dogs up to the top and throw them in. And as long as the door's closed, it works satisfactorily. The dogs aren't, as far as I can tell, injured. For safety's sake, we constructed a kapok log floor at the bottom, which should be about as soft as you can get, because in Dwarf Fortress, falling damage is completely bizarrely based in part on the density of the substance that you hit. So falling onto kapok, which is about the lightest material there is in the game, is fairly safe. But I think actually, if you are pitted into a one Z level deep pit, that doesn't cause any injury anyway. But still, it seems polite to not hurt the dogs if we can. So yes, now I have a large number of dogs, all of them trained for war, of course, in this room, and a lever labelled "Release the Hounds." So we'll try doing that next time we're attacked. Well, no. Actually, my plan, insofar as I have a plan for these, is that they will probably be released late in a siege where there's like 10 goblins scattered over the map that I would otherwise spend time chasing down. Because I'm fairly relaxed about losing a few war dogs, we'll just send the whole lot of them out there and see what happens. And some elves have arrived, but even though they've complained about me cutting down trees, which I have not done, I will point out, there are no trees. I've not cut any trees down, but they still don't like me. Maybe they don't like the fact that all the trees around here are dead, but that's not my fault. I mean, I might want to cut this tree down. It's apparently full of crossbow bolts.
Apparently they grow on trees.
I reckon that that's just acting as, that tree is like acting as a backstop from our bolt thrower. There is a lot of Z levels down. Oh, do they? If the crossbow bolts come straight out from here, they would hit that trunk and so fall through that square and land there just above a branch. Yes. So it's a square that's directly in front of one of the bolt throwers, or rather in front of and then downwards, because it's where a load of crossbow bolts from one of the bolt throwers will end up if they hit that tree rather than hitting something straight in front of the bolt thrower. Where does the other bolt thrower go if you do that? The other one actually has a clear line of fire all the way to the map edge, so they probably end up there and can easily be picked up. Maybe I should construct a staircase into that one particular bit of tree for fetching lost crossbow bolts back. I think we could go up there. Because that's officially open space. So let's build a staircase up into that tree in the hope of getting those crossbow bolts back. Right, yes, the elves have arrived, but they're a trade caravan, so we will see what they want from us, or what they have to offer us, rather. We know what they want from us, which is no wood, no leather, no wool, possibly things made of plants. Slightly confused that we have so much so little stuff that I can move to the trade depot. Has something gone confused or something? If I accidentally still... Oh, no. That door's open. There's no I don't know there's even a door in there. So why are there so few things I can move to the trade depot? I mean, I might still be able to find enough stuff to sell to them. Oh, is it because everything's in bins now? Possibly. That would be kind of annoying. I mean, it might be a lot quicker, mind. Yes, I probably just want to haul a few finished goods bins then. Armour bins are I mean, oh yes, they'll probably have leather armour, but that's not very useful, is it? Yeah, so armour bins, anything in stockpile 72 is, at least in theory, eligible for selling to people who might want to buy it. Let's just pile in a bunch of bins from stockpile 72 then. So I think we've already sold all of our large gems. Suppose, no, they won't want totems, will they? Nuisances, oh well. Right, so here's one of them advancing towards the... Okay, is that two? Right, yes, we've got two elven caravans coming. Okay. I also observe... Oh no, sorry, that's Kaolinite track. I thought that was bloodstains on the railway. Don't get run down by the trains, elves. Problem is, of course, that they won't follow my rules on how close you can get to the railway. Simon asks if the forgotten beasts are still stuck up trees. I think so. There's Strabo on top of a 1 square wide tower cap. 1 square wide and 2 Z levels tall. Like, it's not very far down, but it is 2 Z levels tall. And it's on top of it. And Lysese has managed to get injured, but is now on top of another tower cap, which is like slightly less tiny, but still. And is also 2 Z levels tall. So yes, both of the current forgotten beasts are stuck on the tops of trees. Here we can see the various elven traders turning up. Aha! And we can also see a bunch of dwarves rushing in with crossbow bolts. And indeed, this square no longer has any crossbow bolts at the top of it, on it. So that staircase can now be used for recovering crossbow bolts from that tree when they get shot into it because they missed whatever was straight in front of the bolt thrower. Right, we should probably summon our broker to the depot, which will take a little while because they're asleep at the moment. I don't think any of those messages matters. I'm still a little worried about the booze situation, so I should probably let's have a look at our fruit and stuff situation and see if we particularly need. I suppose what we can do is go to the still. So it looks like we don't have any fermentable leaves and fruit, but we do have fermentable plants. Oh, or have I got that the wrong way around? Not satisfied for next check. Okay. So we are brewing our last batch of fermentable plants as well, and we only have 140 booze. So yeah, we should probably be keen on buying fruit from these elves if they've brought fruit with them.
Can you make plump helmet wine?
We can, yes, we can make plump helmet wine, but I think that's officially dwarven wine. But like, I would prefer to do something more interesting. I can't remember if, and indeed we would be making plump helmet wine if we had an adequate supply of plump helmets to make them from. And like, I think we're growing plump helmets. Oh no, we're mostly growing quarry bushes. Okay, for some reason we're growing quarry bushes rather than plump helmets. I mean, that's fine as well. And apparently we're growing green tree frogs. What? Right, we're still mostly harvesting chicory. Oh no, we're switching over from chicory to strawberries at the moment. I think probably I should start optimizing my farm plots for booze. Right, we have 2 batches of elves. Let's start with Linny Pavo. Have they brought anything we might want? I'm kind of confused by these grown toy boats. We really don't want a worm cage. We could buy a weasel cage. I think we should do that. Obviously, we should be aiming to have. Thing is, as far as I can tell, vermin pets are almost useless. We could try to start farming ostriches. Do ostriches need grazing land, I wonder? Bet you can't train barn owls for war, sadly. Also, they'd be a bit feeble. I think the wereweasel would not have liked being put into a cage. I mean, it would have been perfectly safe. Simon asks, what would have happened if you'd managed to put the wereweasel into it and then it had turned back? A wereweasel is not weasel-sized. It's much larger and scarier. So yes, obviously we'll buy a weasel. I think we should buy an ostrich as well, because then we could have ludicrous ostrich eggs, which turn out to not actually be any bigger than ordinary eggs. I can't remember if they do or not. I was hoping they'd bring us a lion because we've got 1 lion. If we could get a breeding pair of tame lions, that would be quite nice. But a tame weasel is obviously worth having. Someone will like weasels, surely. I mean, we could, I suppose, get like a porcupine and such, but oh, go on, we'll buy slightly more pets. Odd pets are probably fun. Crows are apparently vermin-sized, whereas ducks and barn owls and ravens are not. We've already done ravens. I did ravens in a previous fortress. We're not doing ravens again. don't need wooden weapons or wooden armour. And I think we're okay for clothes. I mean, even socks I think we have an adequacy of. Chests and figurines and amulets and arrows. No, none of these is useful. No, we don't need you to bring 10 crowns. I mean, we could probably buy some acorns and some hazelnuts for cooking purposes. But we've got 2,000 food. We don't need anything that you can't brew. But like, let's find out. I mean, fruit, we don't tend to get fruit by any other convenient means, so we'll buy all their fruit. They brought 0 booze. Like, what kind of people do you think we are that it's sensible for you to turn up with 30 crutches? Okay, I'm curious as to what a malatha is, that it has a yoke and a sound chest. I mean, I prefer to buy whole musical instruments rather than parts. Well, let's continue. Let's buy more musical instruments so that people can play them. I don't think we're short of toys, but we might be a bit short of them. Let's have that particularly nicely decorated puzzle box. And a slightly decent quality toy boat. Right. Now I need to be a bit careful about what we can... I think silk was okay, but I'm not quite certain. Leather and fur definitely aren't. Cotton is fine. Obviously, I can't risk trading anything that's decorated in case the decorations turn out to be unacceptable. One approach, of course, is to offer them an insultingly small amount, and then they will select extra items that are acceptable to them, which is slightly cheaty and probably upsets them a bit. I think so far I've been reasonably careful. I think I will go back over them though, because I did almost select one thing I shouldn't have given them. Sorry, this is slightly slow. Possibly I should do it the other way. Oh, that's green now. Let's go back over them and check. Pigtail, hemp, jute, rope reed. Pigtail, hemp, hemp, pigtail, hemp, hemp, pigtail, cotton, 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 pigtail, 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 cotton, pigtail, rammy, linen, pigtail, pigtail, kenaf, rope reed, pigtail, 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 rammy, jute, cotton, pigtail, cotton, cotton, kenaf. Right, that should all be safe. Right, how about the other traders? What have they brought? Yeah, there's more kinds of musical instrument. What? I don't think grown forgotten beast silk some things are really a thing. You are mostly bringing the same kind of stuff as your rhinoceros. Should we have a tame rhinoceros? We should have a tame rhinoceros. We don't need tame badgers though, probably. Trade caravan contained bobcat. Would buy again. I think our other line might be female as well. That's not going to be very helpful. Oh, go on. Okay, we'll have a badger. Like, you've got all these barrels, but you don't seem to understand booze, you weird people. Right, Simon asks, was that a rhinoceros or just a rhinoceros cage? Some cages say contains one item, but the rhino one doesn't. Right, so what's going on here is that there are two, more or less, two sizes of creature in Dwarf Fortress. There are like full creatures, and then there are what are known as vermin. And vermin are more object than creature, more item than creature, sorry, in Dwarf Fortress terms. So they tend to like just come into existence and vanish again out in the world. And when you get a cage containing vermin, it's marked as, it's treated as being a cage containing one item, in the same way that this bin contains 20 items. But a cage containing a creature is treated as like more interesting than that, or more not containing an item. It contains a creature, which is what cages usually contain. And the awkward thing about vermin pets is that you can't really do anything with them. In that, I think I might eventually have worked out how to release them, but like, when you release them, it doesn't always. There's something weird happens, and they just get put back in the cage. And most dwarves don't really like any vermin, and so don't really want them as pets. So yeah, they generally don't seem to be very useful to buy. So I don't usually bother. How have you got a grown marble pedestal? That is not how marble. Also, what is an elephant monster and why is it producing silk? What? I presume I'm being menaced by a cubicle elephant. A spongy elephant. So yeah, I don't know whether I want to buy a grown marble pedestal. Go on, because it's weird. Okay, we'll have some elephant monster silk celido strings, simply because I don't know what they're for. Right now we're going to have to find something we can sell to these guys. Let's scroll down a bit, because the first few pages are going to be things where I've already selected all of the things that elves will take. Pigtails, rope reed, cotton, hemp, pigtail, jute, pigtail, jute, hemp, linen, rammy, linen, cotton, oh, kenaf, hemp, don't trust that, linen, don't trust that, jute, hemp, linen, cotton, pigtail, kenaf, rope reed, pigtail, hemp, rope reed, cotton, jute, hemp, cotton, kenaf, pigtail, hemp, pigtail, hemp, linen, rammy, pigtail, kenaf, pigtail, rammy, linen, pigtail, rammy, jute, rammy, pigtail, hemp, kenaf, jute, hemp, pigtail. That's probably enough. What? Oh, how annoying. How very, very annoying. I accidentally put a tree in there somewhere. What? Where was the wood in that, hey? Was there a decorated object I missed? That's annoying. I might have got a second lion. Simon suggests that if they're selling silk items, they're probably willing to accept them. Maybe, yes. I mean, I think I remember them taking silk. Oh, that rope reed chose was decorated. It's probably decorated with wood. Slightly tempted to just seize the lion from them, but not yet. Like I can do it, we could do it, and it'll just annoy them. So what if we have a male lion? then I might do that. I think our lion may be female though. Okay, our existing line is female anyway, so we wouldn't get a breeding pair by doing that. So I will be polite and not seize all their goods, even though we'd like some fruit. I think we've already got all the fruit you brought, haven't we? Yeah, you've got some seeds, but not useful ones. Okay. Release the broker. Yes, Dafo Mifere have departed because I offended them by offering them the wrong item. Bah. Maybe I should just force them to tell us what they want. You say they've departed on their journey, but they don't actually appear to have. Good. Ron Stolber has a cat. Or, like, often the ones who like cats end up with a phenomenal number of cats. That's not Olon Stolber, Ben. Stulber, sorry. Yes, 4 pets. 4 pet cats, because once you like cats, cats like you, and you just keep acquiring them. A migrant has arrived. Why a migrant? Because that's how many takes us up to our population cap. A bone doctor, an accomplished wound dresser and accomplished bone doctor. Well, maybe we should, like, actually... What's your name? Carol Ismdolush. Let's make you one of our official doctors then. I keep losing the hospital. Let's put you in there as well. You're all right at some things. So how are we off now for booze ingredients? Better, clearly. We're brewing apples. Though we didn't have very many, apparently. Yes, so we don't have that many plants to brew, apparently. You're making something out of horse cheese. Oh, I should probably check the kitchen, because I've just bought a bunch of things that we might be able to brew. We should not cook things that can be brewed. Okay, apparently having brewed those apples, probably. Oh, also don't cook with the booze. That's a terrible idea. Slightly surprised that we have so much cave dragon meat, but cave dragons do have a lot of meat on them, so maybe that's not surprising. So this roast is going to consist of horse cheese, chicory, alpaca cheese. Right, well, that's cheesy. Two different kinds of cheese plus you just gratuitously drinking stuff from my yes, we've just made some apple cider and you're immediately drinking it. I think we want to be able to grow more things because some annoying invaders demolished two of our farm plots. Why are those fields so far north of the entrance? That's a silly place to put the fields. I think we do need them to be officially in the forest, which is detectable by being where the plants are dead, perversely. But I don't think there's any need for them to be that far north. Let's construct a new officially farming type workshops, yes. So how big do we usually make them? 5 by 5? 5 by 7 apparently. Up there. 3, 4, 5. Actually, Ben. Why don't you put it as close to the entrance as possible rather than like several squares gratuitously away from the entrance? Four, 5, 6, 7. I mean, okay, it doesn't actually have all its squares because of some exposed rock, but so yes, we don't seem to have a serious food shortage. We do have a moderate booze shortage, so I think my kind of plan is to adjust our farming to be preferring things that we can brew. I'm slightly disappointed at the number of fruit we can't brew. I also seem to have surprisingly little like food here. All right, the major thing we have is a stack of 112 cave dragon meat. which... Does cheese not end up in this stockpile or something? It should. Okay. Oh, is all the cheese in the alleged spice pot? No, that only appears to be fruit. There's the cheese. Oh, cheese is in that barrel, right? Yes. And admittedly, we're running out of it, but we're currently busy making citron orange, orange and bitter orange roast. Feels like a weird combination of ingredients. Orange, well prepared orange roast containing citron, or bitter orange, orange and orange. We're making these roasts mostly out of fruit. What's wrong with the cave dragon meat, eh? How about you put some cave dragon meat into this? Lime, citron, saguaro fruit and coffee cherries. I mean, this doesn't seem an entirely wise combination. Anyway, so we've constructed that farm plot. I would suggest that we should just have each farm plot dedicated to more or less one thing. I don't think... I mean, you can brew potatoes, I suppose. Let's not grow chicory. Could go for more strawberries. Strawberry, prickleberry, potato, strawberry. For Fisher berries, grapes. Actually, can we do those? Just do those again. Those seem to be things we have seeds for. So what's this stockpile set up for? Set up for most kinds of seeds other than rock nuts, which are not very helpful. I feel that it would be, well, it would be better for it to be dedicated to the things that we actually plant here, which are potatoes, prickleberries and strawberries. Not that I'm sure that any of those are things you would usually propagate from seed, but... So yes, then we should have a stockpile probably here. That just contains the seeds that we used down there, which was Fisher berries and grapes. Oh, probably seeds. Seed stockpiles should not allow barrels. I think that's what we did with this one, isn't it? Oh, that says max barrels 12. Even though it has, but maybe that's a mistake actually, because someone's just brought a barrel. No, I think that should be max barrels 0, so that we don't end up with locking problems. I think that changed because I enabled a seed. Oh, there's some maple logs there. Are they complaining? Ah, did someone who wasn't us fell a tree? Or did we accidentally bring a tree down by mining? That's possible, isn't it? So I think we're now successfully growing strawberries again. And in this place we've at least started planting fisherberry seeds. So, yes, are we being a bit careful about who our planters are? Yes, good. While also trying to train up more of them. I will feel more relaxed once we have like a few thousand boos. So how's your... You yet legendary? And you're a legendary axe dwarf. I'm not sure we should be having you. Yeah, and you're in the truthful wheels. That's probably not the most sensible situation. I am just going like, why are these squads not doing useful things? Oh, is this a weird squad? Yes, okay. I can't remember what the equity of papers are for. Maybe I should try to give these more useful names. But the Truthful Wheels seem like a perfectly ordinary squad. So I should possibly not have their members being dragooned into operating bolt throwers. Unfortunately, we don't see here that this person is also has useful military skills. I think you could probably take you off that task now. I'm sure someone else will start working on it very shortly. Oh, not yet actually. So how are things in this? So that temple doesn't have any musical instruments in it. So because it doesn't have a chest in it to put them in, I think it might be, yes. Oh, apparently we have no spare chests. Okay. Well, let's make some. Because then maybe people will actually start playing real musical instruments, which is probably going to make them happier. You never know. Admittedly, they mostly seem to be meditating at the moment. Or reading. So what has Ustan Bed and Konos done that has merited... no. Well, that seems sensible. At least gets one thing done. I'm afraid I'm just going to interview people at random until someone tells us what's going on. Why are there options for interviewing the deceased? We just want to talk to you. Well, we're trying to arrest you, okay. Or is that actually... Another strange mood. Let's see if this works all right. Apparently you're going to include some porcelain in this. Right, yep, that seems to be going okay. I mean, presumably we would do well to interview the victims. I mean, obviously not when it's a cat. Oh, or when they're dead. Well, let's interview 2 other people with the same name. I'm sure that'll help. We have 2 cheesemakers called Ustas, and I can't remember which one was injured. Ustas with Z in that case, at least. Hello, Lawban. We're going to interrogate you again about a large number of crimes, we think you were the victim. So we're now attempting to grow fisher berries down there, which should help with our wine making. So I think we're a bit short of fisher berry seeds. Oh, who was it? Since we appear to have a huge number of witnesses for that one. Rith Avaz Bubnus, yes. Long dead, but we can at least treat them as solved. Get them off the cold cases list. No, David, it is not sensible to catch up by speeding up Haganah. That's quite a fast Haganah track. One of their nice new songs is actually a ballad, but don't quite understand what a lot of the justice menu is getting at. Oh right, I accidentally missed a production order. That's embarrassing. Apparently interviewing the victims of crimes doesn't actually get you any intelligence. Oh well, you tried. Where's our thing? Or a high master siege operator at the moment. Right, keep going. Oh, the big pile of cave dragon meat is not there at the moment. Does that mean it's been cooked into something? Don't seem to have any stocks of ingredients at the moment, so it's possible it has. That's probably good. Oh, we should release some animals from their cages, even though we didn't get an additional lion. There we go. That way we can release... Oh, a vaguely helpful thing. An artifact Billen's spear. Claims it as an heirloom. I don't know if that means I can do anything with it. A Billen's spear, not very exciting really. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It's encircled with bands of Billen. This object menaces with spikes of water buffalo leather and porcelain. On the item is an image of onion plants in tower cap. Why have you been kept from alcohol for too long? Is it because you've been practicing siege operation, I suppose? Or is it because you're a vampire? So let's release the weasel. He feels free. This weasel has a great affinity for language. Tiny mammal with a slender body. It hunts in mouse holes as well as barnyards. A stray sickly porcupine. And an ostrich. Like, I don't think any of those can be trained for war. No, ostriches do not graze, slightly surprisingly. We will definitely allow the weasel and the porcupine to be pets. Not so sure about a pet ostrich. Oh, go on. Like, if there's someone out there who wants a pet ostrich, we should probably allow them to have a pet ostrich. So the booze situation is looking a bit fragile, but we are now producing strawberries in quite some quantities. So excuse me, I'm just checking on my memory usage. No, it's fine. Right. So is someone brewing things there? So we've just stuffed some quarry bush into there. And there are quite a lot of strawberry plants as well. Someone actually planning to do that brewing? They are. So here's someone, for instance, processing quarry bushes. Which we have just been harvesting a bunch of. So yes, I should keep half an eye on any mandates from the Baron, which is unlikely because I carefully chose them so that they wouldn't cause mandates. And the mayor, who will produce mandates. So the those tasks aren't being cancelled, but I don't see them being completed either. I mean, admittedly, maybe I'm just not watching adequately. We can see lots of people bringing in ingredients. So there are the 2 brewing tasks. One of them is now active. Let's actually follow the person who's doing it. Okay, apparently you're going to fetch your fruit from outside, which seems a bit silly. You've grabbed some strawberries. Coati has stolen a large copper helm. That's not much of a problem, frankly. Oh, there's some dead goblin bits around still. We should try to tidy that up. What? Where have those strawberries gone? You were bringing in some strawberries. Oh, right, you got dragged off to a meeting. I see. I think the problem here is that our mayor keeps being dragged, who is possibly our only brewer or something, keeps being dragged off to meetings. Okay, it's not quite our only brewer, but still. Let's take our mayor off brewing duty and put a couple of other brewers on it instead. Because that will probably cause slightly less unhappiness. And for some reason that doesn't appear as a job cancellation, which is inconvenient. So you seem to be actually doing some brewing, and brewing probably those strawberries into a small amount of strawberry wine. Oh right, is that slew of messages because there's this pile of bones? Right, we're de-rusting your brewing skills, apparently. So we do have a lot of bones there. So we're like all of these decorated with giant olm bones already. Doesn't look like it. So what's going on with the... Let's pay some attention to those. Some, not much. But I did spot someone being, well, not feeling anything, but it seems polite to stop them having to feel things, about a dead goblin somewhere. There's still more goblin body parts I've not disposed of. Can't immediately see any that would be relevant. Oh, we've got some olivine, which is green. I should remember that. No, I can't immediately find. Anything that would be causing someone to go, oh, there's a dead goblin there. Curious. How are these dogs feeling anyway? They're kind of a bit crowded. Well, that's just weird. You're a strange dog. Okay, whose family member has been what? Yes, I apologise for the way that you're in custody, also the way that you don't apparently have a bed. Well, once you get out of there, we'll probably be able to get you some bones to carve. If we're short of bags, we should probably make some. How are we off for leather anyway? We have 91 tanned hides. We can certainly make some leather bags. Since we're getting jobs cancelled for lack of bags. Well, brewing is still rusty. We've got a lot of bones. If you're a bone carver, we really should be able to. So bones number 9 has some perfectly good bones in it, and surely there are some items that are not yet decorated with all the kinds of bone. Possibly we need to extend that stockpile if there are too many different species of bone that we might want to add. Yeah, maybe we do actually, because like that bed has both of the species of bone that we currently have available. So like we could add some extra bone storage there, which might help. Yes, we are getting complaints about need improvable items. Pinkbee says, don't cats catch vermin? It's true, yes, but they don't put them into cages. We are making some kind of progress with our booze stockpile, but it's still a bit slow. Why is no one harvesting those strawberries? And possibly we don't need to. Let's have a look at what we have by way of strawberry plants. Maybe we have so many, many of them, but we need the space in the farm plot to grow more. Who have we currently got set to harvest? It's currently set to only farmers harvest, which is usually reasonable, but maybe I need more farmers. I mean, we've got quite a few, though. We should probably just find some random unfortunate who doesn't have a lot to do. So we do actually have 0 available teeth for the purposes of decorating things. Okay, let's have a quick check on what we're not allowed to export. Picks, yes, we know you like picks. So yes, I think we are now harvesting strawberries. It's just taking a little while. Ponder reproductive behaviour. A slightly unhappy Gelder who is going off for a meeting. Just wondering if there's anything in there that we should try to improve. I mean, crafting is one thing. Fath Essis Obel. let's have them make a bone bracelet. I think that requires me also to adjust the labour for bone carvers, doesn't it? Temporarily say everyone does this. That should then mean that Fath is doing it. Should then provide a hint of extra happiness. We hope. It'll take a little while, mind, but right. Satisfied at work and the need to practice a craft should now be dealt with. Where do needs come then? There. Oh, look at this. We have no maximally or near maximally unhappy dwarves at the moment. Like Fath Ebis Esisubal is actually one of our unhappier dwarves. Maybe we should what's name the buttery brunch in honour of this. So we want to put Fath in there. And Ustus, Bed and Konos, though being as they are chained, that may be a bit difficult. And Olon Stulber. And Erdim Alatholtor. And Buttery Brunch do still apparently need armour, so But now you get to soldier brackets no activity, which tends to be somewhat cheerful. Cheering. Oh, the friends of nature have turned up. By which we mean the siege operator has started punching leopards, which is unlikely to go very well. I wonder how large this attack is. Like, if we wanted to rescue this siege operator, who is quite unwell, do we send out a squad of dwarves? No, we do not, sorry. So I would like to save you. I think we have no hope. I think we lock down quickly. Oh, we should remove that puppies zone, shouldn't we? It's no longer in use. Right. Levers. I am having a quick look around for any dwarves that might need rescue, who are like actually a decent distance from the elves and not in the middle of a fight with them. You, I think, can make it to the main entrance. Whether you will is another matter, but slightly tempted to force you to have a job. Git crossed Gikutastesh. Since we were already mucking around with the assignment of people to this Craftsdwarf's workshop. What was their name? I've already forgotten it. Git cross Gikutastesh. And one might hope then that Kit crossed would at that point take on the task of, oops, well, it was probably only our dying siege operator. What are you doing? No harvesting of plants. I'm going like, is there anything else there that obviously will cause people to leave? We're still trying to get the crew to the various bolt throwers. Though the Barbican bolt thrower is about to be occupied, so that's good. Where's Kikrust got to? Is there a bolt hole somewhere over here? There. Let's see if we can open that bolt hole, because that might be useful. Here is an elf already attempting to enter the fortress riding a tiger, which is very cool and all, but will mostly just lead to us having is anyone actually pulling that lever, or is there some confusion over that? Doesn't seem. Oh, maybe it's been pulled, but not but the thing hasn't retracted yet. Right, there's a slight danger that this elf is actually going to get into the fortress. Oh, except that they've turned around and gone back again. Okay, if you're waiting for our defences to get themselves set up, I can't really complain. So yeah, I just want to check that we should have the Barbican wagon bridge lever to the right. Which it is, so it should. Oh yes, it's retracted. Good. These are just, yeah, pointless messages. Right, well, now they're having another go at coming in, except that now we have actual crossbow bolts flying. And occasionally hitting. Possibly we should raise one of these drawbridges actually to make it easier for the elves to fall off it. So where's Kitcrost got to? Kitcrost, sorry. You are very close to that, but it isn't open yet. Did we move the lever in the right direction? Do we have to move the lever again? Yes, we do. Oh no, we're still waiting for it to happen. So those crossbow bolts, as usual, the bolt thrower is, as usual, being quite effective. I mean, a fair number of elves are making it through into the Barbican, but as you can see, a consequence of that is that they're getting shot in the Barbican. I think each time a new batch of elves turns up at the main gate, we get informed of them as another ambush. Well, it's not really an ambush. They just came up to the main gate. And we started shooting them. Oh, we've accidentally closed the Barbican Bridge again. That's a mistake. What? Correct position of the Barbican Bridge lever is retract, which is to the right. Which means that it wants to be pulled again. As there are currently some elves coming in over the bridge. And it'll take them some effort to get inside the fortress. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. Particular because that elf appears to have gone downwards, which is very unhelpful. Well, I mean, from their point of view. So that lever has been pulled, which I think means that the bolt holes will be opening shortly, and then I can send Kitcrost down into one. Right. Right, that elf is going to try to get into the fortress. Which might be exciting. I think I'm going to quickly send some military dwarves just outside the cages. Just in case Enure gets far enough in, owing to some confusion over bridges. Once they've passed here and opened. Oh, is that trap? Does that pressure plate not actually activate under those circumstances? That's entertaining. Oh dear, one of our siege operators is like getting shot. And is now rushing away to hospital while in a martial trance, which is like good behaviour really. It feels like we're short of siege operators, even though we've been deliberately trying to get lots and lots of siege operators. Like, there's no one operating either of those siege engines right now. Good night, Steph. We've got some actual hand-to-hand combat here, which is unusual, owing to having screwed up the bridge manipulations. But like, that's not going to last very long, I don't think. I mean, you have bruised someone. But on the other hand, they've just exploded your head by slapping it with the flat side of their axe, so whatever. Huh. Let's just quickly forbid those doors. Neither of those seems to have been the shale door that was just destroyed. Oh. Oops, I was accidentally unpaused for ages there. That was bad. Because the shale door they destroyed was the one that releases the hounds. And like, yes, I don't know how this has gone for the dogs. That's gone quite badly for the dogs. Do we need some way of training them a bit better? I wonder. I mean, some of them are dead. Some of the elves, I mean. Just an awful lot more of the dogs are dead. I think this might be one of the elves who actually managed to get hurt by a dog, by which I mean killed. Like that was clearly one of the relevant injuries. And then, yes, fell over from overexertion. At which point could actually be killed. So the war dogs are not completely useless, but they were really intended to be released under circumstances where they had an overwhelming numerical advantage, and not, as here, an overwhelming numerical disadvantage. So I think what that means is we want to replace those doors with, at best, all right, that's not actually a bad situation for a cheesemaker to be in. Oh dear, Kit Croft has got into a fight. I thought I was going to be able to save them, but I accidentally stayed unpaused for too long. Oh, there's no one around them. So now maybe... we can encourage Kit Croft to go and pull that lever. They're the only person who's allowed to pull that lever. It's now in a bolt hole that they have access to. I mean, okay, there is an elf down there who might be a problem. good. We've managed to open that bridge again. Only one elf got through the... oh, we should, yes, cancel the orders, the military orders. They don't need to be there anymore. How's Kitcrossed up getting on? Doesn't seem to have got into a fight again yet. On the other hand, is still unwilling to pull that lever. That's kind of weird. Possibly is still scared. I'm pretty sure that lever pulling is not... Okay, I think that's just a puppy where a puppy should not have been. Feels fairly sure that lever pulling is not... oh, I've forgotten the word. No, I've forgotten where that thought was going. Something about lever pulling and it not being a special kind of thing that requires a particular labour. I mean, I suppose it probably is actually a task, but yes, lever operation is not assigned to any particular okay, I've no idea why there's a puppy out here getting murdered. Oh dear, has Kitcross got into trouble again? Oh no. Still not actually willing to go inside and pull that lever, mind. Well, let's also mark it as a meeting area, in the hope that that might encourage him in there. The other door up here has now been destroyed. Well, that's a lot of elves getting shot, isn't it? More of them coming in. We're busy reloading at the moment. Happily, we're not busy reloading down here, so also the elves are doing their usual dithering thing on the bridge. Go on, keep dithering on the bridge and then dodge off it. There are still an awful lot of elves around. What, another shale door? Oh, you've managed to destroy that one. Well done. Look, there's a lever. If you would go and pull the lever, you'll probably live. You're refusing to pull the lever, and I don't understand why. Oh, you're getting shot. Well, I think your friend happily has found the elite bowman who's shooting at you and is shooting back. Okay, maybe they're not. Because they apparently think that someone else is a more important target. No one is a more important target than the person who's successfully shooting you. Oops. You stepped aside in order to aim at a different elf and therefore dodged the incoming arrow, which was rather neat. Oh dear. Yeah, you need to be properly armoured. We should sort that out. Ustuth Kilob Mat should be made a member of the Syrups of Starting. So I'm slightly worried that doing that will cause them to take all their clothes off. Oh, not yet. Good. But if you're bleeding, possibly we should deassign you from that task. Get someone else in. So that you can clear off and ideally get yourself patched up. Are you reloading the bolt thrower or something? Well, it's got plenty of bolts, and there's like an elf here who will start shooting at you. Except I think you two can't see one another at the moment. So I presume you are a member of the Syrups of Starting, which is why you're usefully armoured. Yes, good. What are you doing down there? Why on earth do you think that's a useful place to be? Oh well. Tun Kula Locum should also be made a member of the Syrups of Starting. Well, no, they're unlikely to get shot down there. Let's not take them off there until we've at least got one of our other bolt throwers staffed. Where, like, we've surely still got adequate people assigned. Astinthetol. Curious about that. Why are you in the military? You're in the buttery branch. Oh, you're in charge of the buttery branch, aren't you? But you're actually not very unhappy, really. No. Okay, we should give the buttery branch a new leader. I think it should be Erdim. I know we've already put them in there, haven't we? And we shouldn't put siege operators in there. It probably doesn't matter who it is. It should be someone who doesn't do anything very important. Erdim Logem Ostuk. Oh, you're a legendary axe dwarf. Maybe not you then. I don't know. Moses Likot Edem. Mostly just to get the to not have a siege operator as the leader of it. Not to have a happy siege operator. So why are all of those also in that number one? It's not that number one, it's mechanics. Oh right, yeah, I suppose so. They don't generally have a lot of work to do, so I'm not too worried about that. So both of those doors have managed to get destroyed, which is interesting. Like, I don't think it's useful to have destroyed them, but it is interesting that it happened. These guys mostly just bringing new crossbow bolts, yes. None of them actually seems to be coming to operate the bolt thrower, which would be helpful. That's bad. I mean, maybe that was a while ago. Military are certainly milling around in a way which suggests that there's an elf there, but there doesn't actually seem to be an elf there. Poor Kit Cross. Look, if you're not going to go and pull the lever, you're not going to survive. Oh, here's someone coming into the fortress. They didn't last long. Yes, I'm not surprised. Oh, it's an entire squad of them. Moving as one. Plus a bunch riding in on tigers. And running away again. Sorry, this is just too entertaining. Elf riding a war tiger, desperately trying to escape. Technically, this isn't a siege. Technically, this is an ambush. I think one of our stray dogs got out. I wonder how that happened. That's worrying. I don't think there's any way through, but I do need to pay quite close attention, I think. And you currently appear to be a perfectly healthy elf. Which is not probably because your tiger is taking the brunt of the damage, admittedly. And presumably this bolt thrower is currently being reloaded. And once it is reloaded, you will suddenly find your life much less interesting. Or at least much more interesting, much less pleasant. Than just sitting here as your tiger dies under you. Okay, the tiger lasted slightly longer. Presume that these two are both... Oh no, you've just dropped dead. I was going to say are both unconscious, but no, one of them's dead. More elves and tigers crawling across the river. Across the river? Across the bridge. Once we get this bolt thrower fully reloaded, there'll probably be some more death. Ooh, what were you doing there? Oh, someone got in. That's not good. I mean, only one elf, but there's a couple more there. Right, let's make sure we actually have some halfway competent dwarves in the area. Also remove that dog paw so that that door can close, because that'll make people happier. Oh dear, our war lion is being killed. So this militia commander is like dealing with the elves who've managed to make it all the way through the Barbican. And like he's doing pretty well for someone who's only got a mace. I think that's every elf in that area dealt with. So let's ensure that any dead elves get disposed of. Unforbid any clothing they might have brought with them. And let the military go back to training. Not least because that will put them in the right location. Okay, I think our war line is not dead. So what's going on now? How are we doing for invaders? Still got quite a lot of them out there. Okay, that war dog I think just got shot very repeatedly. Or maybe not. We obviously shouldn't have a dead dwarf just lying around up there. Are we lacking a... oh right, we don't actually have any spare indoor tombs. Means we're going to have to like make a pile of coffins, I think. Right. Yeah, we've got a bit of rock available at least. Anyone else coming to try have a go? Oh, an elf swordmaster's made it through the outer doors. Dodging lots and no, got caught by a trap. I think those are shooting downwards, possibly upwards. Someone on a different Z level. That's a slightly stupid number of elves who are fighting. And see a bunch of dwarves up here bringing in additional crossbow bolts. Oh, that was another elf getting through. And deciding they prefer it out here, which really they don't. You appear to be... you're a elite bow elf, aren't you? Ow, nasty. Ast should not be allowed to be a siege operator for now, in part because they don't have any armour. Which in turn I think is because they're unhappy and hence a member of the wrong squad. Also, like, they've just been shot. Actually, they don't seem to be significantly unhappy, so why are they not in the syrups of starting? And we're going to leave them off anyway because they're injured, but you've got some booze with you, drink it. Yes, I hope someone will come and rescue you. If not, just get yourself down the stairs, then you'll be fine. I think that no elves have got inside recently. You're still unconscious. Oh, you're not unconscious. I would suggest you get downstairs. You foolish elf, what are you doing? Dying, that's what. Is anyone going to staff the other bolt thrower? Not at the moment, apparently. So who's currently staffing bolt throwers? Ilral thingy, yes, good. And Tun Kul, who is not yet in the syrups of starting and should be. But that way we should look at Lorbam Fathfash, for instance, should be made a member of the syrups of starting. What is Olon Stulber in? They're a member of the Buttery Brunch, but they're also very happy. Let's stick them in the syrups of starting so they can put their proper armour on and maybe help us with some stuff. Really would like you asked to get yourself to the hospital, or for someone else to get you to the hospital, or something. Is there a recover wounded job for you or something? Yes, good. But it's too scary out there. There are elves around. Really, it's not that scary. We do actually have someone crewing each bolt thrower. You've got adequate clothing. If you can fight your way through the crowds, all of whom are trying to deliver crossbow bolts, but are tending to flee when they see that there are elves outside. That just gave me a brief offloading units message. Oh, we don't have many elves left. Right, I think this may be more or less over. Like, there's clearly some elves left. The number of them is quite small, and if only we had some war dogs left, we would release them. So where are our remaining elves? Are they leaving the map? Well, you're not. You're busy, passed out and getting shot, right? Next. Yep, that was you carrying off 2 masterwork crossbow bolts. You're going to carry off 2 more masterwork crossbow bolts, aren't you? Oh, apparently not. Okay, there is apparently a war tiger. In the centre of the screen, which we are following, which is not moving, and like I can't see a capital T anywhere, so I'm a bit confused by that one. I think we will assume that that's not harmful and treat this as more or less the end of the siege. Oh, it's 0042, right. Let's put things back into the right state, but not actually attempt to clean up. You, I decided I didn't want as a siege operator, didn't I? so bolt throwers back to their usual state. Various bridges back to their usual states. And that should then allow a bunch of jobs to be done. Right, I think that's like I could, I suppose, unpause and actually allow that stuff to happen. But I think we're now in a situation where there is a phenomenal amount of cleaning up to do after that elven ambush, because they threw a very large number of elves at us, killed basically all of our war dogs, which is a great pity, because now it's going to take us quite a long time to breed another batch. And we're generally nuisances. So we definitely want to replace the hound releasing doors with the hound releasing bridge for next time. Oh, and we should lower the outer drawbridge as well. But the bolt throwers continue to work at least. Actually, we could have a little moat outside there so that you couldn't even touch that bridge until they were until we deliberately released them. That is a slightly stupid square in terms of dog parts. Oh dear. Anyway, for now, I think I should probably go to bed. So I will save at this stage and say good night. Good night.